Grenade down!
Anytime you've got a goal, I mean like a really serious goal, you need to know what it's going to look like once you get to that goal. You have to begin with the end in mind. If you don't know what it looks like, how the hell are you ever going to know when you get there? Those kind of goals take work. Serious work. Serious, brain-numbing, tedious work. And you gotta do that work. But you can't just slog in this brain-dead manner towards this goal without understanding if you're going in the right direction in the first place. You have to have a plan. Without a plan, how can you execute anything at all? Just doing stuff is a lesson that I learned while I was an engineer. Confusing motion with action. And if you're going to hit a goal, you need action. But it can't just be anything. There has to be a plan. You know, something I used to tell my young engineers when I was mentoring them is there is no value in a plan, but there is much value in planning. What I meant by that is the plan is going to change. Somewhere along the way, you're going to have to deviate from that plan. And if you don't, then the plan was never pushing you to optimization. You were never taking full control of your resources and pushing as hard as you possibly could. So at some point, you're either going to miss, or you're going to have got the plan wrong, and you're going to exceed what you thought you were going to be able to do by a long way, and again, you got to adapt that plan. So you got to record your results along the way. If you're not recording your results, then you have no idea if you're still going in the right direction. It's pretty simple, really. Everybody needs to start with a plan, but be ready to adapt. Now, I have several plans, and this is part of one of them. The reason I have several plans is it's just too big and chunky of an exercise to try to make one plan. If you recognize there are different elements that you're trying to improve, such as your nutrition, your health, your fitness, which has 10 dimensions of cardiorespiratory endurance, strength, speed, power, muscular stamina, coordination, accuracy, balance, flexibility, and agility, putting together one integrated plan, just as one exercise, is just too complex. So we break it out into several pieces. And this is one of the pieces that I'm using. This is my rowing plan. Now on the rowing plan, you can see that there's 12 weeks, which is the length of the challenge. And I had a goal specifically for rowing, which was to improve my stamina and endurance. This was going to reduce my resting heart rate as a result of the improvement in cardiorespiratory endurance. That's one of the key indicators of health. My ability to recover quickly. And so I used the RowPro software here in the gym, and I generated this plan from it. Now, what I'm really trying to get to from this plan is to answer the question, if I'm going to hit my overarching goal, what do I have to do today? What is the thing that I must do today which will contribute towards that success? And this does that beautifully. You can see each week indicates to me how much volume I've got to do. There is a weekly volume target. There's also a target in terms of, did you do each of these workouts? And there's a schedule that says, what do you got to do Monday? What do you got to do Tuesday? What do you got to do Thursday? What's happening at the weekend? And now I can use this to prioritize my exercise while still being able to keep control of my life. If you don't have this kind of a plan, then you simply do not have as great a chance of achieving success as you otherwise might. You can do some stuff, but can you be sure that that stuff is actually leveraging your resources in order to achieve your goal? Because the goal is everything. If it wasn't everything, you picked the wrong goal. If you're not doing these executable chunks every day, then you didn't really care about the goal. You have failed to prioritize it. And this is where I get kind of uptight about listening to people in the gym saying, well, I can only really afford to do 2 times a week, which is just not enough. Or I only have the time to work out 3 times a week. Now, there are 24 hours in a day, you fuck. You can work out for as many of those as you can stand. But you've chosen not to do it. You have deprioritized it. So when you come into the gym and you tell me that you want to change your life, but then you say there are these constraints because the rest of my life would impinge too much on that, then what you're telling me is you don't really give a fuck about your health and fitness. And if that's absolutely the case, you gotta understand there's a limit to what we can do for you. You have to prioritize this stuff. Why should it be important to you? Because without this, you are not going to be death-proof. You stand a chance of dying from something at a very inconvenient time. The only convenient time for you to die is when you look back in recollection and consider that everything that you set out to do during this lifetime has been completed, and the future holds no interest for you. At that point, it is acceptable for you to back out and say, fuck it, it's time to die. I can't imagine what that looks like. I am fully prepared for the plan to be incomplete, but I will die trying to get to the end. And that's fortitude. That's mental toughness. It's a resignation that you're seeking something that you can't actually achieve. But regardless of that fact, you are going to try with everything you've got to achieve it nonetheless, as impossible as it may be, because to do otherwise is just unacceptable. And don't come to me and tell me that you don't have time or you don't have the money, because you got time to sit in McDonald's and you got money to push that fucking cheeseburger into your face. So go do some thinking about it, and then come back to this process and decide. Does that burger really taste as good as thin feels? Is this seat comfortable to the extent that you're prepared to sit there and not go through the endeavors, the tribulations, the trials, the successes in life that you might otherwise have if you get out of that seat? It's time to move. It's hard. I know it's hard. Shit gets in the way for sure. Shit that you just can't move. This last year, I didn't expect my gym to burn down. I didn't expect to detach my biceps. Didn't expect to get shingles. Didn't expect to have to put down for 6 weeks while my hernia repaired. And stuff is going to come up. And that's where the plan adapts. It doesn't mean you won't be successful. It just means you change the nature of the journey. But if you're not prepared to do that, if you're not prepared to deviate from the path you've chosen, if you're going to be so rigid, then I look forward to making fun of you when you're wearing a bandage on your nose, which is broken, because you went for a walk in the woods and you were too pig-headed to walk around the tree and so walked into it instead. I'll remind you of this moment. Get working. And hey, it's nearly the weekend. Don't blow everything, but have some fun. We'll talk soon.